Chris Mannix for the crossover alongside Rowan Ned Carney and Michael Shapiro. Guys, the dust has settled on the trade deadline and the big pieces have fallen in the buyout market. So, Rohan, who is now the new title favorite?
Chris, my new title favorite's looking a lot like my old title favorite, and that's the Los Angeles Lakers. Listen, as long as they are healthy, I still have so much faith in what LeBron and Anthony Davis can do as a duo, and that's really what it's going to come down to. I still have currently no reason to believe that the two of them won't be ready to go for the playoffs. I don't care what seed they are. I don't care if it's the 10th seed and they have to make it all the way from the bottom as a play-in team. I think it's proven that as long as you have LeBron James in the last decade, you're at least going to make it to the finals. I don't think that anybody in their conference made such a big move at the trade deadline that they need to be worried about. I don't even think they're worried about playoff Rondo and their crosstown rival, the Clippers. So I think as long as LeBron and AD are healthy, I'm still taking them over the field. I know the Nets are looming out there. We haven't seen that group tested yet in the playoffs, and we still don't know if a team with a defense that bad can win an NBA title. That's where the Lakers shine on that end of the floor. So give me the Lakers for now, as long as LeBron and AD are ready to go come playoff time.
I certainly wrestle with this decision, but I would ultimately side with the Lakers over the Nets. I think a healthy, as Rohan said, LeBron and AD, that size that they can provide, especially with Andre Drummond now too, they can kind of follow that similar blueprint that they did last year when the game slows down and the Lakers can play bully ball with limited possessions. There's no one I trust more than LeBron James. You look out to the East, I don't think that the additions of Aldridge and Blake Griffin make the Nets some kind of indisputable super team here. I would still pick them to come out of the East, but I think Milwaukee is looming as a contender that's not getting enough respect. I think that Brooklyn is not a guarantee by any stretch of the imagination to exit out of the East. And yeah, when you have a chance to bet on LeBron James, I think you should bet on LeBron James if he's healthy and his co-star is healthy. So I will still side with the Lakers, even despite their current struggles.
Yeah, but the last time LeBron James and Kevin Durant matched up in the finals, it did not go LeBron's way. I am looking at the Nets for that reason. The Nets have three bona fide snipers, fourth quarter assassins on that team. And yeah, they're not perfect. Their defense stinks. They're just signing guys off the street. And we have no idea if Aldridge and Blake Griffin and anybody else they sign the next couple of days is going to be able to make a tangible impact. But in the fourth quarter of games, they've got three guys that can beat you on their own. And that's what it comes down to. I think one of the biggest reasons that the Lakers cruised over the Heat in the finals last year is because Miami only had one guy like that. They had Jimmy Butler. They had other good players. Duncan Robinson could shoot, so could Tyler Hero. Bam Adebayo did a whole bunch of different things. But they had one guy that could beat you at the end of the game individually. This Nets team has three of them, and all of them are doing it at a high level. James Harden might be the MVP this year. Kyrie Irving is having one of his best offensive seasons. Kevin Durant, before his injury, was playing like the MVP. So, Rohan, I don't know. When you get into a final series and there's a close game, I know LeBron's on one side, but I'm taking the team with Harden, Durant, and Irving to beat that one guy.
That's fair. You cite LeBron's last time matchup with Kevin Durant. We all kind of know those teams were not really necessarily on the same playing field. I'll say this. It's not like the Lakers have two guys you can sleep on either. I mean, Anthony Davis made his own case for finals MVP last year because of what he was doing on both ends of the floor. And during last regular season, he outscored LeBron. I mean, the Lakers have great options to go to at the end of games, too. I do think, Chris, a big thing, I mean, we don't really know how these teams are going to match up yet, what it's going to really look like on the floor. I'll say this. The Lakers, I think, are able to get to a gear defensively that most teams in the league are not going to be able to get to. And as great as the Nets are offensively, that's historically mattered. Again, we don't know what the matchup is going to look like. I do think Frank Vogel has been really good in the playoffs round to round, figuring out the best defensive approach for each team they're playing. That's why I give the slight edge to the Lakers right now. I just think that they have a gear they can get to on that end of the floor. That offensively, I'm not going to say it's a wash, but, we're talking about LeBron James and Anthony Davis. So those are two guys who can go get a bucket when they need to as well. So I do think that element that the Lakers have puts them over the top for me right now.
Look, the Lakers defense could be the difference maker. When LeBron and AD are playing, it's the number one defense in the NBA, and the Nets, even though they've gotten a little bit better, are going to go in with that being a weakness. For more, check us out over at SI.com.